مساء الخير وحلقة جديدة من برنامج متيان بشير لو شو. I'm so happy الليلة إنه نستضيف السيد نابليون أدوك المدير العام للهيئة الوطنية للاتصالات. السيد نابليون مرحبا بك.
Thank you very much.
نبدأ بأول سؤال. يعني الأسبوع قبل الفات أنتوا عملتوا بان للفيسبوك and TikTok. A lot of reason behind this. What is the real reason that you didn't announce to the public?
Well, thank you, Matiang. I think I have been on record several times about the reason why we block the two social media applications. First, it is not the entire social media environment because it's so many of them. So we block the Twitter, the TikTok and Facebook for a reason. After the incident of Medini, there was a lot of circulations of really not very nice videos and images and a very inflammatory exchange with our people, which are tantamount to incitement of violence, of which we have seen some of it meted out on innocent Sudanese in Awil, and other South Sudanese has also been affected. So our effort was to contribute in a way to restrain public from being incited using these images. So we just wanted to interrupt the circulation before it goes out of proportions. Facebook and TikToks are usually the main video sharing social media. They are the leading in our country. Especially Facebook and TikTok are the leading video sharing modes. Very few goes to YouTubes and all that stuff. YouTube is still being used extensively, but these one are the ones that are being shared quite a lot. So we made a decision in order to protect the public and to give us opportunity to remove those already in circulation and to reduce it. Of course, that ban we issued targeting 30 to 90 days. We had assumed that whatever we want to do will take 30 to 90 days. But if we could do it within 24 hours or 72 hours, then we lift it. And luckily enough, we were able to achieve our objective in less than 30 days. So that's why we lifted. So that's what it is. And what were those objectives? The objective was that we were engaging Meta directly. We catalogs and flag all the URL, which is the universal resource locator, is the address for each video item and the account that are sharing them, and send those things to Meta using a special reporting mechanism. And Meta was very positive. Of course, with TikTok, it's still taking us quite a while. We are still even doing some now. Okay. So that process means that our engineers had to help and other people also had to provide so that we report them. That is why we shut down. Okay, because it's like you are trying to fix pothole on a road while traffic is still moving. So that's why we decide first to put the traffic on hold and then do what you do.
But do you believe that this is the main reason behind what you have been taking?
At least in our context, that's the main reason. It has managed to save life. The protest went down, the circulation reduced significantly. So that is the main reason on our side. There's no any other reason beside that. And that is the first time we took this measure. It is always at our disposal to take those actions only in the event when it is affecting public. So we acted in the public interest. And that's what the law grants us to do.
Indeed, this is the first time. But are you going to do it again in the future?
These actions are still considered very rudimentary because we are a state that has no tools for managing social media. And that's why we took that position. Now we have learned our lesson and we are working hard to invest in necessary regulatory tools that will make us to address those issues without taking these drastic measures. It is not good to shut down because it attracts attention. Imagine the people who were circulating this were less than 10 accounts. So if we had the tool to alert those 10 accounts and try to warn the owners that please stop circulating it and restrict them, why would we then have to shut it down? So it would require us also to invest in social media monitoring to ensure that, and this is something we don't do alone, we have to do it with other stakeholders like the media authority and even the public themselves. And that's why I issue an appeal. One of the key tools that people use around the world is public to report. When you see something that is not really acceptable to your norm as individual, you must, instead of just, you must also report it. Because that's that way, Meta will take action based on the number of reports that are reported that particular post, whether it is a hate speech, it is the image, you must report it as a group. We have close to 2.7 million South Sudanese that are accessing Facebook inside South Sudan. That is without those outside. Now imagine that 2.7 million, if only a quarter of them report a page to say this page is not really doing the right thing, it will be removed automatically. That's the algorithm, and that's how Meta operates. Okay. Because you are the consumer.
Okay. You mentioned that there are 10 accounts behind all this.
Yeah, close to around 10 accounts. They measure the sources. Okay. And some of them are not necessarily in South Sudan. Because some posted from Sudan, and then somebody in our community began to circulate it. And much of it was going through WhatsApp, mostly.
And did you identify who are behind those 10 accounts?
Really, we don't. Yeah, we can identify it, but usually most of those people are ignorant of what they are doing. So we were not going after individual. We were focusing more on tackling what is already in the media. So, and that's why we go and just target this particular post is not good. Okay. So maybe those who posted it may now check and they find that the image has disappeared. Or if you have it on WhatsApp group and you are forwarding to people, you may discover that it cannot be forwarded again. Because basically what Meta does is it identify the address or the file name, and then it put in its system to block it wherever it goes. So people might still have those ugly videos saved on their phone. But anytime when they try to upload it, it will not go. Okay. And if they do, then the system will take time to target it and remove it because it has been defined as not a good content. Yeah.
You issued this step because of what happened in Medani.
We don't work for the Sudan. Sudan is a different jurisdiction. It is up to them whether they have seen it as a threat to them or not. But for us, it is more a threat to us because it is our people that are going on the street. It is our people that are looting their own properties. It is our people that are killing foreigners that look like Sudanese in their view or whatever. So sometimes we are actually doing it to save our own people, not to, of course, everybody, any other person that is within our country is under our responsibility to save. And that's what we expect the Sudanese to do on their side. Anybody within the territory of the Sudan is under their jurisdiction. It is globally assumed to be under their protection. And that's why many people are correctly outraged because people were killed in the territory of the Sudan, and it is up to them to ensure their safety, the same way we ensure the safety of Sudanese in our territory. So I think this is a natural way.
Some people that think different. Because this decision came after the threat from the Secretary General of the SPLM that they have the capacity to shut down the internet, not even Facebook and TikTok.
Well, thank God that nobody shut down the internet as it is wished by other people. But our decision is not linked with SPLM threat.
But just after 2 weeks, you block Facebook and TikTok.
Well, that show you that our decisions are not linked to that. It is justified by the event themselves. The SPLM people may be speaking in their own capacity, and it is up to them that whatever they are doing is their own mandate, but I am following my own mandate. So nonetheless, I would like to categorically deny that we are not under the influence of the SPLM. Neither is the decision made based on the SPLM directive. So they have their own reason for making those statements. And I have stated to you my reason that we think that it's for public interest and is guided by law. And that's why we did not shut down the internet. Instead, we shut down some social media application.
Okay, but the SG talk about Facebook. He didn't mention TikTok. He didn't mention the others, but he said they can control.
I think you
the
need to
social
ask
media.
the SG where he drew his powers. You need to ask him. He's still around here in the country. You should interview him and ask him about that. I know the public has scrutinized that statement at length, and I think he's a public figure that is accessible to people to explain his rationale.
Okay.
Yeah.
But NCA didn't react on what he said.
No, we couldn't react on it because he didn't break any law. He did not tell us. He did not direct us. We have no link. Because I'm a civil servant, we consider ourselves non-partisan. So that's why we don't have link. And I am answerable to the executive and policymakers, my minister, and the president. That's where we are.
But this statement comes from someone who is the SG of the ruling party.
I think I cannot speak on their behalf. Yeah.
Okay. Do we accept another restriction from NCA in the future if the same reason repeat itself again?
I told you earlier, we are also on a learning curve. And I gave you an example that had we had the necessary tool to filter and identify the troublemakers, then there was no need to interrupt the large public. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the reason we took this action is rudimentary because we did not have the capacity to go after one account each. Now, with the help of Meta, we are effectively engaging Meta, and they have responded greatly because they also saw the danger, the owners of the platform. They don't want the platform to be seen as a source of conflict. So even them, they are also concerned, and they like now we are discussing what we call community standard. We are agreeing with them so that we can automate identification of those things and they are removed from the point they are being posted. We don't need to wait for things to accumulate like the way they have accumulated. So I think we have already started putting in place the mechanism. If that mechanism is put in place, we will have Meta open for us a channel to report to them. We don't want to say we are going to censor Meta. We are reporting to them those things on daily basis, which we did not do before. So now we have a mean to report to them on daily basis, and they are willing to respond to us also on daily basis or categorize our definition. So we have a stakeholders meeting next week with Meta to discuss community standard. A community standard is what are the do and don't on their platform. Mind you, what we agree with Meta may not be the same with what we agree with TikTok. We are also engaging TikTok. So we are making progress, but we are engaging them separately. And the idea is to agree what are the norms that should be allowed. Okay, and we will define it together with the media authority, which clearly define what is the hate speech, what is the disinformation, what is the misinformation, and what is the propaganda. So they have a definition already guided by the Media Act. For us also, we have a definition of what we think is appropriate use of technology. And together with those stakeholders, we will be able to come up with that, and then we sensitize the public. These are the agreed norms. So if you are going to post this, Meta will have to find out we don't want to see this in our territory. So that's what we do. Okay. So to me, I think that is a mechanism already, which is put in place to prevent a total blockage of social media, let's say over Facebook. But I cannot say that for any other social media platform that may break our laws in future. Because if we find again there is another one that is coming up and is circumventing these issues, we will have to address it with whatever mean we have at that time when it happened.
Regarding to what you said, some people are asking also, what is the role of the NCA to educate the people on how to use the social media and all this?
Well, social media, nobody goes out to educate people about social media. Social media is social as its name suggests. What we do to create education is people to be aware on the issue of cybersecurity. These issues are covered in the cybersecurity, the do and don't. There's a lot of people being cheated online, for example. There's a lot of defamation going on. There are a lot of people sharing things they don't know their origin. You have seen with the deep fake coming. Videos are being taken from another event. Voice are taken from another event and combined. You've seen the demonstration video that was going around, which is the video way back in 2001 around Mobile Roundabout. And then the voice audio taken from New York demonstration mixed together and it's being circulated around. You probably got it.
Yeah.
So these events tantamount to deliberate disinformation. Even you as journalists, you are the one at great risk because you don't know what to quote. Is it true or not true? So that's why we invest in creating awareness on the issues of cybersecurity. And with the coming of the artificial intelligence, which can generate a lot of fake voices, fake videos, it will require a general public awareness on these things. It is not only NCA alone. We are embedding it in the cybersecurity and digital literacy awareness so that people can know the difference. And should ask what we say before you forward, please ask yourself, do you know the source? Where did it come from? It might come from Mathiang, but does it really, before you forward it? But we have, majority of us have a habit, like we raise who will share it first quickly. I know every day I have my WhatsApp, it is just fill up with people sending things they have not even read. So, so this is the culture we need to start building, and it is everybody. And I think majority of it is with the media. The media is supposed to be teaching us on how authentic sources are. And if the media also join in quoting then the whole thing becomes difficult. Nobody will trust you because what you have reported, you are Mathiang Chirino, reputable journalist, and then people found out that it was forgery. Then people will doubt your credibility. And that's why everybody need to take that. Yeah. So we certainly take it as part of cybersecurity awareness and digital literacy. Because it's not only about the disinformation, it is about the scam. A lot of people are suffering in silence here. Okay. They create Facebook account, then tomorrow somebody take their password and do other thing. They have, they have a lot of things and they don't know what to do. So often they do that because like somebody asks you to send a PIN number to them and you send it innocently. You don't know why. How did you get the PIN? It is a PIN number to your own phone which open your account. Okay. And yet you send it because out of ignorance. This is happening a lot.
Okay, regarding the issue of cyber crimes, how many cases NCA deal with it till now?
Well, we don't manage cases as such. The cases of cybercrime, they are open in police stations. And the police investigators, sometime in their quest to get information, come to us to try to find information. We receive quite a numerous numbers of people requesting just for information to help them investigate the sources of. Majority of what we have seen so far, they are about defamation. A lot of defamation cases.
How many exactly?
And I cannot tell you the statistic, but it should be in the hundreds. And mostly targeting politicians, high profiles. And often the people come here writing summon for the Facebook to appear in court. So we just tell them, Facebook does not have an office in Juba. So we will forward your request to California so that the judge in Qatar can send his request to California. Certainly it does not sound hopeless like that. And this is one of the things we are discussing now with Facebook, that there are legal requests, and these legal requests, they must be addressed because we have laws in our country. And that's one of the things we are now putting forward to them. One of those things, if somebody open a case against an account, that case can now be uploaded. Case file can be, a ruling from the judge can be uploaded to Meta to determine whether that account should be brought down. So this is what is done everywhere. And this is what we are discussing in the community standard. So some of these procedures, they were not in place before. So now that we have this crisis, so we are now pursuing this option, which will be made available to the Attorney General so that they can decide how to use it and because you can imagine it's a full-time job. And it is not really a business of NCA. So once we have managed to establish, we will link Facebook with the law enforcement either the Interpol or the Maktab Judiciary, عشان to determine those things. Yeah.
But when are you going to finish all these steps?
Well, it is a work in progress already, triggered by what happened last week, the shutdown. So we are just hoping when are we concluding it. So it's a work on progress on the side of Meta and on our side. Meta has a regional office in Nairobi, which we have now connected to for their policy. So we are engaging with them, and it is a work in progress. And when that particular utility is available, we shall announce it to the public so that they know that you can now raise your complaint and to engage with the Meta directly. And we'll make contact available so they can actually report it to Meta.
What is your response to the statement that issued by Bar Association?
Well, I don't respond to legal demand because I'm a government entity. So normally when a legal intent to sue is transmitted through the Attorney General, so they don't come to me as individual or as institution. It is to be answered by the Ministry of Justice. If they saw it fit that we should answer as entity on the subject, then we will be notified. Otherwise, we don't engage in direct legal issues with those people. So I believe it is their right, and I'm sure they will see what come up out of it.
I think it's almost done 4 or 5 years as a DG for NCA. What is still facing your work?
Well, the most challenging is very easy. It is lack of money. We all have grand dreams, but without resources, you cannot really implement a lot of these things. You recall in our last interview about 2 years ago, I told you about lack of regulatory tools. It is indeed the lack of regulatory tool is what forces us to take this rudimentary. That's why I call them rudimentary action. In other advanced countries where tools are, nobody talk about shut up. They only shut down some 2 or 3 accounts and they don't affect the whole entire system. It's because we don't. So if we had those tools in place, we wouldn't be bothering ourselves with this public row. But it was necessary. That's what is at our disposal. We take with it. So majorly resource constraint is the key thing that is affecting a lot of plans that people want to do. I feel disappointed that until now, we have not managed to take fiber optic across the country to make telephone communication easy. It is really the biggest challenge, the resources.
Lack of money, and NCA is still generating money.
We don't generate money as people seem to think, because we don't sell anything. We are a regulator. So we rely on fees that the people we license pay. Okay. We rely also on services that we provide, like technical support to the Revenue Authority in the process of collecting tax. We oversee and operate what is called revenue assurance system, a mechanism which allowed us to see the revenue generated by the telecom sector, especially whenever calls are made, that is money. And we give that data to SSRA, which is the Revenue Authority, to determine the tax. And because of our involvement, the tax from our sector has actually been growing quite significantly. And in return, we get what they call 5% because of all our effort. So really, this is what we live on. And it is mainly just to sustain our operation, to pay the staff and support, but it's not sufficient enough to fund all our operation.
But it's 5% from millions of pounds.
Certainly.
Or billion of pounds.
And that's why it is very incentivizing. The more we can encourage to collect, we get 5%. So even this also motivates us to make sure that taxes are collected accurately. So this is what we get. So it can be 5% or a certain amount. So the bigger the amount, the better the 5%. So incentive wise. So we are motivated even to help even more. And that's why today we are even talking with SRRA to see how we can improve the digital economy so that they can even collect more tax. And this is the reason why we are saying when all these activities online are monetized, like content creators, it is also a source of revenue to government. If online trading take place. For example, there are online shopping, online stores, then government also get money. So certainly you can see that we are motivated to encourage this economy environment because it also incentivizes our input. The bigger the market, the better our 5%.
Okay.
Yeah, and we could use that 5% now to extend services, if possible. But if there's 5%, is far below, because I think if we could get it, and we could support other stakeholders within the telecom sector, especially the SSBC, the other access to information and media authority. So those are also parastatals that depend on resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about achievement that?
Well, the achievement is that now, number one, we've created visibility. So I would say 6 years ago, not so many people knew what NCA was. I believe you also. You did not have so much understanding of NCA. Today, you understand NCA. A great achievement is that we have not fulfilled everything, but we have brought connectivity. We promoted the connectivity. We drive the connectivity agenda across the 10 states. Certainly, there are places that still need more connectivity. And this, I think, is the only key achievement we can say. We brought connectivity to some places. We could have bring it more if we had resources. But we are still determined to drive connectivity. Because if the majority of our populations are outside, they're in the rural side, countryside, persuading the private sector to invest in expanding connectivity, I think is a great effort that we have been doing for the last number of years. And we managed to bring connectivity to some places. Not all of them. I would love to go more and more places and see that our people get access to communication.
After you block Facebook and TikTok, how did you deal with a lot of pressure and a lot of news that crossing the country about you?
There's one thing that I have accepted, that the fact, if you are in a public office, you will always be a subject of scrutiny, criticism, appraisal. So I think that I am also being held accountable. So I also accept the voices that criticize for the decision we take. It's part of the job. Of course, the only thing we did is to reach out with explanations. The reason we took this measure, it is due to this. And some people now beginning to realize actually our action was indeed along that line. Others will differ with opinion that, you could have done it other way. Always with any major decision, and especially in public offices, you will never get 100% consensus on those things. But what motivates us is the greater public good. And the greater public good always triumph the demand of the few. So some of our colleagues who, especially people with a background in IT, would fantasize saying that, but you could have done it like this, because they don't know the context under which we are. If they knew the constraint we are in, they would still come to the same conclusion. So I still find it that the outcry, it also taught us lessons. It also gave us an ability to measure the impact of social media. And many people thought that it is going to affect businesses, people are losing businesses. Yeah, indeed, it probably support other self-employed people. But when you look at those businesses versus the greater good, the crisis that were going on, like the looting that you have seen, then you can realize now when you weigh, one thing outweigh the other. And that's why we took those measures. So I still believe that it was the right decision. It may not have been the right time to do it, but it is the right decision to protect life, to save life. Many of those human rights people will understand with it. Others said that you are interfering with the freedom of expression. Yes, it would be if I have cut them off from all other sources of communication. But there were other sources of communication. People could access internet. There were even people using VPN. There were people using that. So it was not really denying people access to information, because there are a lot of other media that were accessible by the public. So it's only these two.
If you were not the DG of NCA and someone took the same decision, will you support him?
with my experience, certainly I will support him because I understand the context under which it is made. But if I were to be somebody who is not here, okay, just a normal user, of course I would be complaining and say, why did you close it? Because I don't know the rationale behind it. But now, if I am not here, let's say I become a former DG and somebody take that action, I will certainly understand why. He's not doing it alone. He must do it based on certain pressure or certain environment, a situation. So, of course, I wouldn't complain if I am at home. But if I was not exposed to the environment that is now going on and what is happening, and so then I will totally be oblivious to the facts behind the issue. Yeah.
Okay, let me end this interview with another, but it's going to be the last question. What is the reaction of those who are close to you when you make that decision?
Oh, okay. My own children at home complain also.
Okay.
So those close to me, my own children at home complain. They cannot access internet. Yeah, but that cannot be the measuring factor, whether those close to me are happy with my decision or not happy with my decision. As long as my decision promote the greater good. So that's how I look at it. I never look at it like friends will say you've done a wrong thing or you've done a good thing. No, it's not like that. No, you get it as a feedback, yes, but it's not a determining factor.
Okay.
Not a because sometimes, otherwise, if 2 or 3 of my friends say, oh, it is a good decision, I cannot even believe that it is a good decision also. Because some people around me said, no, wait, there is a good decision because it served the purpose. Okay. So that's what we did. And I keep telling people that these applications are not registered in South Sudan. So they don't have a legal entity. They don't have a legal entity in South Sudan. Their application accessed remotely. So in terms of legal term, they don't exist in South Sudan. This is one thing people forget. Otherwise, they would have come and say, why did you shut us down? And we are a legally registered company. We would have negotiated with them. Yeah. So this is what people forget. But because the Republic of South Sudan is an independent, so somebody doing their business somewhere cannot triumph over our rights and value.
What is your message to those who are using Facebook and TikTok?
I think they are great platforms, which if used with responsibly, it can be a great source of encouraging unity, people learning among themselves and sharing information. But you and me will understand there are people who have made names in social media in using really vulgar languages, in projecting something that does not represent our culture. So I can only appeal that those who are using the platform, please use it responsibly. If you want to share something, please think about the impact to our people, and particularly to the young generation, to kids. Because our people have a habit when somebody is being buried, even when people are lowered into grave, they take the picture and post it. I do understand. But think about others. What emotional messages are you sending to them? How stable are the children that are going to watch that? Okay. So I can only appeal that let's use the social media responsibly to promote cultures, to do our business, there's a great opportunities. And one of the things that I am talking now with the Facebook and TikTok is to allow South Sudanese content creators to monetize here in South Sudan. And I did repeat the same thing. If we are 2.7 million, if our contents are all 60% full of things that are not so, so nice, who is going to advertise? Nobody's going to advertise in somebody who is popular with the horrific things. Nobody. Because Facebook, people use it to advertise. People look at the number of people in that area and then promote. But of course, that's why we should all endeavor to make it, sociable and peaceful and civil, so that people who may see attraction, they can now come and advertise on it. But if our social media collectively is weighed based on the If you go now on any social media monitor and you see South Sudan social media, the negativity is higher than business, than creativity. If anybody, because there's a tool, you can go online and check. Just put name South Sudan. What will come first is war, killing, terrible images. This is what comes first. It is not the wildlife in Bandingolo that come. It is not the Great Nile that come. It is not the basketball that come, the great thing that we did, which if we had promoted those things, they become sources of attraction. But instead, it will come, those images. And it is our collective to work together to promote, bring the positive part of our country. All these other countries have the same crisis. They have problems. There are even people who post terrible things. But when they are done in a collective way, the good thing in that country, the tourists, the people busy trying to sell something, are usually outweigh the negative. But on ours, is opposite. So I call that we should use social media in a very productive way.
Okay.
Yeah.
We reached to the end of our interview with the DG of National Communication Authority, Mr. Napoleon Adok. Hoping that to see you
Thank you
soon.
Thank you very much.
And to discuss also the other achievement that you have been. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.